Hello everybody, I do love a good book haul video and I'm working on one right now. Sometimes it's hard to put together a good list of books that people are interested in seeing, but sometimes it's hard finding good books that you want to buy. But between eBay and bookstores and thrift stores, outhouses, hen houses, publishers selling stuff, authors selling stuff, it seems like every month I ought to be able to put something together. And anyway, that's what I'm working on right now. Let's take a look and see what kind of stuff we came up with for the month of September. Everyone, Halloween is near. October is in. Today is October the 3rd. I can't wait. Start embarking on my favorite part of the entire year. I love October. I love December. Thanksgiving in November is kind of that in between. But anyway, I love this time of year. It starts cooling off, smells like fall, and I feel good. However, September is over, and I accumulated some books in September that I haven't shown you, so we'll do what we call a book haul video. How you like that? A book haul video. And this month I went to a few bookstores. Maybe 3, maybe 4 bookstores. I made two purchases at one bookstore. Not very good at the bookstores, the thrift stores and all that kind of stuff. But I got some eBay purchases, I got some Instagram purchases, some Facebook purchases, and I did buy a couple books at a bookstore. So let's see how it went. The September book haul. Anyway, the first set of books that I got, I didn't even mention already in the little preamble to the Constitution there. I went to a website called VJ Books. Ever hear of it? And I bought a few books this month. This month was Philip Fracassi month at VJ Books, and I already had almost all of Philip Fracassi's books that they offered, but I did get a couple. VJ Books, if you're not familiar, sells signed books. Books signed by the author, typically signed by the author. And I picked up the last of the 2 Philip Fracassi books that I didn't already have. The first one I'll show you, both these are soft covers, and this one is very small. Saculina by Philip Fracassi, and the artwork just looks too sweet. And they don't credit a particular artist. It just says Ink Spiral Designs. Now, Ink Spiral Designs, pretty doggone good. Excellent artwork on the cover of this soft covered chapbook. I don't know, bigger than a chapbook. I don't know what you call it. Short. Let's see how many pages. I think about 80 pages in length. What else? 82 pages from front to back. And it is signed by the author. And here is my Philip Fracassi signature. I don't know how many I have, but I never have enough signed Philip Fracassi books. One of my favorite authors, newly christened one of my favorite authors. I've done some reading on the Philip Fracassi front, and I'm pleased. Anyway, I picked up another one, and this is the Lethe, L-E-T-H-E. How do you say that word? A soft cover also, Behold the Void by Philip Fracassi. This is a collection of stories, and it's also going to be being published by Thunderstorm pretty soon. I don't know exactly when, but put me on, sign me up, because I sure enough want it. And again, VJ Books, signed by the author. Sometimes they'll have tipped in signature pages, sometimes they'll be flat signed. You don't always know, but they do a lot. They do a lot of signed books. This collection of stories is one that I'm excited to have, and I'm excited to get the limited edition version of that as well. And there are some, stop covering up the picture, interior illustration in here. The introduction is written by Laird Barron, and there is the table of contents for those interested, the list of stories, and Behold the Void. All right, the last one from VJ Books that I want to show you is one that I'm excited about. I'm excited to read. In the mid-90s, there was a movie that came out with some actors that I love, and that is Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Val Kilmer, and others. But that movie was called Heat. I went and I saw the movie Heat with a friend, and I loved it so much that I went back and I watched it 3 more times. Total of 4 times at the movie theater, at the Brooksville Twin Theater. I couldn't get enough of this movie. I really dug that film, Michael Mann. But Michael Mann, as well as a person named Meg Gardner, have put together a sequel to that movie in the form of a novel. I had to have it. I couldn't resist. I looked on eBay and suddenly saw that there were a bunch of copies signed by Michael Mann. Holy tootie, I want one. But they were all over $100, and I wasn't really interested in that much in paying for it. So I snooped around and I saw that Mysterious Bookshop had copies signed by Michael Mann, but they were sold out. And then boom, VJ Books had it. They had signed copies of Heat 2, and I couldn't wait. Signed by the author. I couldn't wait, so I ordered. I got it in the mail, and it is signed by the author, by Meg Gardner. So my copy's not signed by Michael Mann. Disappointed. Anyway, I wanted a signed copy by Michael Mann. I still do. Either I didn't look closely enough, or they changed something. Their website now says signed by Meg Gardner. But I didn't notice that at first. Either way, the price was right. No complaining here. I still want a copy signed by Michael Mann, and I can't wait to dive in to Heat 2. I'm so excited. Now from there, let's take a look at a few things I got on the eBay. Let's look at 2 at a time this time because they go together. And this is a novelization. If you've watched the channel very much, you probably have figured out I'm a big fan of movie novelizations of movies that I dig. Not all novelizations of movies that I like. Anyway, these have the same title and they look different. Total Recall, Arnold Schwarzenegger, novelization written by Piers Anthony, and the same thing here. And as far as I know, it's the same book. There's also a softcover edition, which I have. I'm not going to show you that at this time. But anyway, a couple of hardcover movie novelizations, Total Recall, that I got. And they just had different covers, and they were hardcover novelizations. So I was excited. I wanted to get it. Now, I haven't looked at all to see which one came first. This one says copyright 1989, first edition, first print. It's the one with a red cover. And you can, if you look closely, you can see that. Let's see what the one with the Arnold cover says on the title page. This one says reprinted 1991. So there you go. They reprinted it in 1991. And there's that. And they put Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover. Good idea. Anyway, movie novelization, Total Recall. The last eBay book that I've got for this unboxing is one that I put a Rodart dust jacket cover on a tight book, and now I gotta work it to get it out. But I like my dust jackets protected. This is a book in a slipcase from Cemetery Dance called Elsewhere by author William Peter Blatty, the author of one of my very favorite books, The Exorcist. He also wrote the screenplay for the movie The Exorcist, as well as writing the book Legion, which is a sequel to Exorcist, and then he wrote the screenplay for and directed the movie Exorcist 3, based on the book Legion, which was the sequel to The Exorcist. It gets screwy. He had nothing to do with The Exorcist 2, and I'm pretty sure everybody that did wishes they did not. Anyway, Elsewhere by William Peter Blatty. I have not read this book, but I dig The Exorcist and Legion so much that I figured I might as well get this one. It is a signed and limited edition from Cemetery Dance, this one being number 329 of 350 copies. I don't know if there are any interior illustrations, although it looks like there's something in here, and there sure enough are. So interior illustrations in Elsewhere makes it even better. I got it on a pretty good deal, good enough for what it is. I wasn't going crazy, wallering around trying to find this one, but I wanted it. It was on my list. I had the shot, and I took it. Maverick, you took it. Anyway, what else? Are there any other interior illustrations? Sure enough, there is one. And it says the interior artwork is by Alex McVeigh. The cover photograph by Bruce Haley. So that's that. Elsewhere by William Peter Blatty. Glad to have this one in my collection. Glad to have it on my shelf. And I'll be glad to get it put back in the slipcase. All right. So from there, I went to a bookstore that I've had a lot of good success with over the last year or so. That's 2nd and Charles, Jacksonville, Florida. Right now I'm at the 2nd and Charles in Jacksonville, and I'm working on trying to get something to show. About to go inside, and I can't wait to see what kind of fun we can have. So I went into 2nd and Charles, and I found a couple of things. I mentioned my love for movie novelizations, and I picked one of them up. This one, have you ever heard of this? Rain Man. This is the movie novelization, a novel by Leonard Fleischer. And this is a first edition copy of Rain Man. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here being a number line going all the way down to 1. Typically, it indicates first edition, first print. And I got this one for $1.50. So I'm glad to have the movie novelization of Rain Man in my collection. The other one, I wanted this book for a long time. It is also one of my very favorite books. And I showed you a video, an unboxing video, where I got from eBay from Franklin Press, Franklin Mysteries, Franklin Library. The Maltese Falcon. I bought one that said leather. I got it in the mail. It wasn't leather. And then I did a book haul video showing you where I bought one on eBay. I paid more than I wanted to pay for it, but I wanted the book, so I got it. And then naturally, way it goes, man, I go to 2nd and Charles, and I find the leather premium deluxe, nice, beautiful copy of the Maltese Falcon, and I paid about $40 for it. A lot less than I paid for it on eBay, a lot less than it's actually worth. So, 2 copies. One of them is going to go back up for sale, try to recoup some of the money I overpaid for the first one, see how I do on that. But I do love this book, and it's a good problem to have. One too many. I'm cool with it. This one is beautiful. Leather, silver, gilt, page edges, built-in ribbon marker, genuine leather binding cover, and a beautiful sewn binding. This one is nice. It's got some interior photographs from the movie. I'll show you just a little bit, if I can find it, of that stuff. Good old Humphrey Bogart. So this is a book by Dashiell Hammett. He also wrote the novel The Thin Man, which was made into a very phenomenal movie as well. Some folks even call The Thin Man a Christmas movie. But the Maltese Falcon, the movie, is often regarded as Bogart's best, if not his best, then among the 2 best, along with Casablanca. I prefer, for me it's a toss-up between the Maltese Falcon and The Big Sleep, which is a book by another one of my favorite authors. But I love both movies. The Maltese Falcon is one of my very favorite books. Now I want to take a look at a book that I got from a guy named Mitch Hall. Ever hear of him? Rapture Brewing Company. They say they got good stuff a-brewing at Rapture Brewing Company. But anyway, Mitch Hall sent me a book, and I haven't opened it yet. I got it a couple days ago. I haven't opened it yet. Here it is. Target did not send this book. My good friend, Mitch Hall, did. So let's take a look and see what Mitch Hall sent me. It is one that I wanted and one that Mitch Hall had. And I sure appreciate the opportunity. I sure appreciate the package. And if I can ever get through Mitch Hull's uncuttable tape, the unbreakable bond, he uses the good packing tape, not the cheap stuff, then we'll take a look and we'll see what it is. What it is. All right, let's get it out. Let's take it out. Let's whip it out. Lots of, Mitch Hull knows how to package stuff. All that paper protecting all around, top, front, sides, bottom, top. I already said that. And then look here, man, I got enough bubble wrap to last a while. Let's get it out and see, what could it be? What could it be? What could it be? I know what it is. In just a moment, you will too. Get it open. All right. This is from Levidian Publications and Robert McCammon, the King of Shadows. And this is the advanced review copy. I did a book unboxing a while back of 5 Robert McCammon, Matthew Corbett series books from Levidian Publications sent to me by Brian James Freeman. And then they, months later, released this, his newest book. And I also did a signed and limited edition version unboxing of this book. But I wanted the advanced review copy, and I didn't want to say anything to Brian James Freeman about it because I didn't want him to feel like I was asking him for a book. Anyway, thanks, Mitch Hull. Thanks for hooking a brother up. I do truly appreciate it. How do you like that Stephen King book you got, by the way? Anyway, glad to add this to the collection. In December, I intend to go to a Robert McCammon autograph sign, a book signing, book event, whatever you call it. And I've got a stack of books that I want to try to get signed there, and this will be one of them that I want to try to get signed by Robert McCammon. I love the Matthew Corbett series. I haven't read them all, but I do love the series. I want to say Speaks to Nightbird, I've already said it a couple times, one of my very favorite books. And probably The Queen of Bedlam is even better, the second book in the series. But I just love Speaks to Nightbird. I have this thing about firsts. The first book in a series tends to be my favorite, even if it's not necessarily the best. Getting to know the characters, to me, is a big part of the journey that I always remember. Thank you, Mitch Hull. Glad to have this one in my collection. And then the last one in this book haul video is a book that I bought from somebody on Instagram. My very first Instagram purchase. I don't do much Instagram, but a viewer of the channel sent me a message and said, hey, maybe you'll like this. And it was a link to an Instagram page from a guy that I'd actually bought books from in the past. Not on Instagram, though. But I bought books from him in the past on eBay, as well as just asking him, hey, do you got one of these? And he said, yeah, I do. I'll send it to you. Anyway, this one is one. I'm a big fan of an author named F. Paul Wilson. And I've already said it a few times in this video, but one of my very favorite books, and when I say one of my very favorite this time, I mean one of my 2 favorite books, maybe my favorite, maybe my second favorite, is a book called The Tomb by F. Paul Wilson. And I've got the signed and numbered edition of The Tomb from Whispers Press. I've also got the first print, first edition trade copy from Whispers Press. I've got the signed and numbered edition from Borderlands Press. I've got the UK edition from the New English Library, I think is the publisher. I've got lots and lots of copies of this book. But there's one that I didn't have, and I figured I probably would never have it, and I'm kind of okay with that thought until I got a message saying, maybe you want to take a look at this. When this book, before this book was published, the publisher took some copies to a book convention. I don't want to say the name of the book convention because I don't rightly know. And I don't want to be incorrect because I'm incorrect enough and I don't want to do that here. Took some copies to a book convention, gave them out, sold them, I don't know, whatever. And what I gather is there were 96 copies that were printed out. And these are pre-first print, pre-limited edition. These are the first books. Anyway, 96 copies that were handed out. Maybe I'll get this open here in just a minute. And there are slight differences between those 96 and the first trade hardcover copies. And here it is. Here's The Tomb by F. Paul Wilson. One of my two favorite books. For the sake of this video, we could say my favorite. I'm never sure if I want to say Alas Babylon by Pat Frank, I know, or The Tomb by F. Paul Wilson. It's one of those two books, and I can never ever completely guarantee that I can figure out which one it is. But this is the pre-first edition copy, and it comes, the reason I keep fiddling with it, this seller has 2 dust jackets, and I guess that was a thing that later on happened. So let me take off one dust jacket, because I think I know. The first print came with this dust jacket, and you can see it's a little bit short at the bottom, a little bit short. It's a softer paper. It's not much thicker than notebook paper. What else is there about this? Other than that, it looks about the same as the other dust jacket. The other one is just a little bit taller. Let's see if we can show that. From the first print, let's see. Just a little bit taller. It covers the book just a little bit better. The end flaps are longer as opposed to the end flaps being shorter here. Let's see if I can do this without messing it up. Shorter, and this one is longer. Anyway, other differences on the book itself. There is no publisher mark on this one. And I have the trade edition. Let me get that for you. I have the trade edition right here. And you can see when I take off this dust jacket, which I have in a Brodart protector. When I take off this dust jacket, you see the publisher's mark. See the difference there. And this book has some foxing on it, some discoloration, and I knew that. I was told that when I bought it. But anyway, I figured I might not have a chance to get this book again, so I better jump. The price was right, so I took it. And that is that. So I got The Tomb, all of the main versions of The Tomb that I know of, that I feel like I gotta have, I got. And that's exciting for me. So thank you for watching my video. Thank you for hanging out till the end if you did. If you didn't, come on, man. Anyway, appreciate it. If you have any interest at all, please subscribe to the channel. It makes a brother feel good when every now and then that number ticks up. Every now and then, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. But anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for checking me out. C'est la vie, baby. Doo-doo.